Okay, welcome back. I know it's hard to jump right into math, right? But I figured we'd start by using a familiar problem. How many of you guys thought this problem looked kind of familiar? Yeah, it's from our weekly check-in from last Friday, okay? So today we're doing lesson 2.28. This is module 2, lesson 28. And your learning goal today is to help you solve word problems by drawing tape diagrams, okay? It's nothing new. And, you know, think about what we've been learning so far. What do you think the word problems are going to ask you to do? Divide decimals, right? Because that's what we've been working on. So you're not learning any new skills. You already know how to draw tape diagrams. You already know how to divide numbers. But now it's just going to be in word problems, okay? Let's start by solving the problem of the day. So on this page, what I did was I copied exactly the work that I saw several of you do, okay? You did 23.8 divided by 28, and you came up with the answer 0.715. What I would like you to do right now is you're going to copy this into your notebook, and as you're doing it, you're going to see if you can find where the mistake was. You can see over here, this is the work, and over here, this is the scratch work that I saw students do. Let's see. What is the first thing the student did? It looks like did they set up their standard algorithm correctly?
Yeah.
They have the right whole, right? And the right divisor. And did they have the place value correct for the first one? Yeah. How many times did they try to divide 238 by 28 first? 7. And did they do their multiplication correct over here? That 28 times 7 is 196?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they write it correctly over here?
Yeah.
Did they do their subtraction correct? Is 238 minus 196 42?
Yeah.
Good. Then what does it look like the student did? They subtracted another 28. How come? Because they noticed that 42 was bigger than 28, right? So they divided it one more time. Where did they put the 1? In the hundreds place. Where should that extra 1 be?
Added to the 7.
It should be in the tenths place because we're still dividing 42 tenths. So this 1, should it be in the hundreds place? No. It should be added to the tenths place. So instead of 7 tenths, how many tenths should there be? 8. Okay. Then they did the rest correct, except where did the 5 end up? In the thousands place. But where should it be? Hundreds place. So this work here, does it show that the student understands place value? No. Okay. Several of you made this mistake. It's important. It's okay to make this mistake, especially on a weekly check-in, because a weekly check-in is just like a quiz. It's helping you understand what you know and what you don't know, and it helps you prepare for the test. Your test will be this Friday. To solve word problems, there are 3 steps that everyone must do. I don't care if you go to Russian math or Kumon or you have other ways of doing word problems or you already know how to do 10th grade algebra math. In this class, whenever you solve word problems, there's 3 things I want you to do. The first one is to model the problem. Model doesn't mean be a fashion model and walk down the runway. It means draw a picture. And in this case, we're going to be drawing tape diagrams, okay? Remember that tape diagrams are just rectangles that look like this. And they often have lines dividing them up and labeling the different measurements. Yes? Okay. Then you're going to calculate to solve. Seems pretty simple, right? And the third step is always, always, always you're going to check your answer. You're going to think about, is it close to my estimate? Is it reasonable? You're going to think, is there a different equation I can do to see if I'm correct? Because if you can check your answer, either by doing multiplication or division, inverse operations, or using your estimate to check for reasonableness, you will have a good idea of whether or not you are correct. Okay, on this problem, we can see the question's asking us to answer, how many hours must Ava work in order to save the rest of the money? Let's now circle the important information. We know that the computer is going to cost her a total of $1,218, but she's already saved half of it, so she's already halfway there, okay? To get the rest, we know that she makes $14 per hour. Okay, so that's the important information. Make sure you circle it so that you know you don't make any silly mistakes. Okay, what's the first step we need to do in order to solve a word problem? It starts with an M. Model. Okay, let's draw a tape diagram. So in order to model it, let's draw the cost of the entire computer. What should we label the cost of the entire computer? $1,218. Now, what do we know about this full amount? Does she already have some of it?
Yeah.
How much does she already have?
Half.
half. So go ahead and divide it in half. And this is what she already has. This is already saved. And this is the part that's not yet. Okay. Now how can I figure out how much money she's already saved? How can I label the dollar amount that she's already saved? I just need to divide 1,218 by 2. Okay, go ahead and do that. So we can do 1,218 divided by 2. Be careful to put the hole in the house and the divisor knocking on the door. How many thousands do we have? 1. Can we divide 1 by 2? No. Okay, so let's regroup it. We have 12 whats. What place value is this in? 12 hundreds. Can I divide 12 by 2? Yeah, if I have 1,200 and I divide it by 2, what do I get? What do I get? 6 whats? Good. So let's put a 6 in the hundreds place. And 6 times 2 is? 12. So how many hundreds do I have left? 0. Brother's going to bring down 1, what? 110. Can I divide 110 by 2? No. How many times can I do that? 0. So let's put a 0 there. Okay. And then let's bring down the 8. Let's regroup it into 18 ones. What's 18 divided by 2? 9 whats? 9 ones. So let's put a 9 in the ones place. 9 times 2 is 18. We're left with 0. So how much money has Ava already saved?
$609.
Okay. Let's label that. How much money does she have to make still? $609. Yeah. Let's label that as well. Okay. Now, if she works for 1 hour, how much money will she make? $14. Would that be part of her $609? Yeah. We can label that $14. Does she need to work more than that? Yeah. So we're basically seeing how many sections of $14 fits into that 609. Does that make sense? Yeah. So how can we do that? We have to do 609 divided by what? 14. Very good. Okay. So it's hard for me right now to draw it because it's not very, it's kind of too small for my stylus. But you're going to want to label these sections $14 each. Does that make sense? Okay. We don't know how many to drop, so you can just draw a couple like that. But we're going to figure out how many we can fit in there, right? We're trying to figure out how many sections of $14 fit into that $609 total that she still needs to make. Does that make sense? Okay. Can I divide 6 by 14? No, so I have to think of it as 60 whats? 10. 60 tens. Okay. 14 is pretty close to 15, so let's skip count by 15. Ready? Go. 15, 30, 45, 60. Hey, what number is that? 4 times 15 is 60, so should we try 4? Okay. 4 whats? 4 tens. Remember, the place value is so important. Okay, let's put a 4 in the tens place, and let's do some scratch work. 14 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I have 56, which gives me 4 tens left over. Yes? Okay. Those 4 tens can be regrouped to 40 ones. And if I bring down the 9 ones, I have 49 ones altogether. Yes? Okay. Now, we have to do 49 divided by 14. Yeah? Let's count by 15s again. Ready? 15, 30, 45. Hey, that's pretty close, right? Let's try a 3. And this time it's in the ones. So my scratch work this time I'm going to do 14 times 3. 12, 42. Right? Did you guys get 42? What do I have left over? 7. Now, do we need to continue into decimal division? Let's see. The question's asking, what's the question asking us again? Yeah. Can you work part of an hour?
No.
Could I come to school and only work for part of an hour?
Yeah.
I could, right? So that means, can we have 43 point something 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 hours?
Yeah.
So should we continue with the decimal division?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I have 7, my remainder of 7 right now, it's in what place value? 1. So that means I can regroup it to become 70 tenths. Good. Oops. Okay. Now, let's skip count by 15 again. Ready? Go. 15, 30, 45, 60. Hey, isn't that close?
Yeah.
So let's try, should we try 4 again?
Yeah. No.
We could try 5 because we know that 14 times 4 is 56. So what's 14 times 5?
70.
Oh, isn't that nice? Okay. So how many hours does Ava need to work in order to save up the rest of the money?
43.5 hours.
Okay. We just did the modeling and the calculating. What do we need to do next? Check. How can we check our answer to see if it's correct? Right, we can do the answer 43.5 times 14. And if we get 609, we will know we are correct. Go ahead and check. Once we did our check, is our answer 609? No, our answer then is 43.5 hours. That's what she needs to work. The important information is we know that altogether he cut 12 pieces of wood. Okay. And altogether the board was 128 inches long. The first 5 pieces of wood were 15.75 inches altogether, or each, right? And then the 7 pieces then were cut evenly from what is left. Okay. And he lost 2 inches of wood altogether after making all the cuts. Your tape diagram should look something like this. Altogether, how much wood is there? 128 inches. Okay. He cut one piece that was 15.75. Actually, here, you can write it inside like this. 15.75 inches. And he did that how many times? 5. So he has 5 pieces that are 15.75 inches. So far I've drawn 3. I need 2 more, 15.75 inches. And 1 more, 15.75 inches. Okay. Then this is the amount of wood that's left, yes? He divided that equally into how many spaces? 7. So you have to divide that equally into 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Except at the very end, how much was lost?
2 inches.
2 inches. Okay. And the problem is asking you to find how long is one of these pieces. Okay, so how would you do that now that you have your tape diagram? Can I figure out the total length of these parts? How would I do that? Could I do 15.75 plus 15.75 plus 15.75? Could I do that?
Yeah.
Or I could do 15.75 times what?
5.
Times 5. Okay. Then could I subtract that from the 128 inches? Could I also subtract this 2 inches? Right?
Yeah.
And that would help me find how much was split equally into 7 pieces. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, 5, 6,